Spy vs. Spy, the iconic comic strip from Mad Magazine, is just as recognizable as Don Martin's cartoons or even Alfred E. Newman himself. It first appeared over 60 years ago in issue number 60, the two-faced issue with Nixon winning the 1960 election for president on the front cover and Kennedy winning on the back. They did that so newsstand owners could display the right cover, and Mad would be the first magazine to scoop the election results. But I digress. Spy vs. Spy was created by Antonio Prohias, who was born in Cuba January 17, 1921, and eventually worked as a cartoonist for El Mundo, the leading newspaper in Cuba at the time. However, his cartoons making fun of Fidel Castro led to the communist leader accusing him of working for the CIA, so Prohias subsequently fled to America in 1960. He worked in a garment factory just 10 weeks before selling his first cartoon to Mad. The original artwork for which that you see here sold at auction in 2006 for $11,500. Prohias would go on to sell about 270 works to Mad Magazine, 20 of which were not Spy vs. Spy, such as this iconic cover idea painted by Norman Mingo, and the Mad staff found the original Prohias sketch in 2011. He would also create 6 original Spy vs. Spy paperbacks. Here are my copies. Unfortunately, Prohias was an avid smoker and died of lung cancer at the age of 77 in 1998. In 1998, DC Direct made these amazing Spy vs. Spy figures that I recently picked up at a Mad auction. Whether they are a tribute to Prohias or if he ever saw them before he died is unclear. If anyone knows, please comment. Tim Johnson, the auction's organizer, said they were originally the property of Joe Raiola, who worked at Mad for 33 years, eventually hitting rock bottom in his life as a senior editor. He is seen here not storming the nation's capital, but simply in his day-to-day work clothes. When I told him I won the figures, he called them a complete waste of money, which is typical for most things that I buy. The figures came in the form of a white spy and a black spy, of course, and this stunning silvery gray variation. I found this most curious. It seems the manufacturers didn't know there was already a gray spy. Mostly used in the 1960s, the gray spy was a woman that always got the better of both the black and the white spy. Whenever Prohias used her, it was called Spy vs. Spy vs. Spy. Here's a rare one which looks like he forgot to color her gray. What struck me the most upon receiving the figures, and what prompted me to do this review, was that the design and packaging is very clever. Each figure comes with a gun, a mallet, a magnifying glass, a club, and a briefcase with the word spy written on it like a real spy would have, or so I assume. The briefcase actually contains further items: binoculars, a saw, a dagger, and a bomb. The figures also come with a target on their back, which actually serves as a stand to put the figure on for long-term display. The back of the figure has a button that triggers the throwing action of the spy's arm. So the way the arm works is that you pull it up until it clicks, and the only thing seems to fit in his hand is the bomb, and then you hit this button on the back. The figures have elbow and knee joints and the hand swivel, but the head doesn't look like it can move because of the way the coat collar comes up, which I thought was weird as they look pretty off-model, but I guess spies in general are known for having high collars. And the left hand has the kung fu grip so it can easily hold any object. Easily. But the piece of resistance that I thought was the most clever is that the card back has actual bullet holes from the cartoons firing at each other, which I think is just brilliant. Just imagine how much they had to pay the sharpshooters they had to employ to make sure the holes were in the exact same place on every package. Did you think that the cartoons themselves shot the package? Now that would be ridiculous. I don't know who designed these though. The package only says created by DC Direct and that they were made in China. That's how you know it's quality. Now, a lot of people talk about the white spy or the black spy, but the truth is over the years there have been hundreds of them, maybe thousands. And now for the first time anywhere we take a moment to honor their sacrifice for their respective countries. In conclusion, with its clever design and even more clever packaging, I rate these figures 10 out of 10 thumbs up. Mostly because I haven't collected action figures since Star Wars as a kid about 35 years ago, so I have nothing to compare them to. Thanks for watching. For more great action figure reviews, don't watch this channel, as I don't have any more. There's a link in the description to my friend Salvador Los Angeles, who does these all the time, and he's funnier. Don't forget to smash that like button, and if you've enjoyed this video, please post a detailed review in the comments. You will be judged on grammar, punctuation, vocabulary, and overall communication effectiveness. Ready? Begin.